Hi guys, and welcome back to another Madden 19 rebuild on the channel. Well, this one I'm not exactly sure if we're going to call it a rebuild. Probably going to call it more of a restructuring of the Chiefs, because they already have a lot of, good players in a lot of key positions already locked down with the emergence of Patrick Mahomes this year. That's the quarterback position pretty much sorted for the team for a lot of years to come. I know he's not actually, well, he's on his rookie deal, but he's already sort of had a year of that sitting out. But as you can see, the team looks unbelievable. The offense is definitely where the strength of the team lies. They have, great players in pretty much every position. Like I said, Mahomes, 98 throw power. He's insanely accurate. He's already a 90 overall. He's going to be the quarterback for the entire rebuild, the 3 or 4 years that we do this. I did actually do this on the last day that Kareem Hunt will be in the game, I think. So we'll have him as well. Tyreek Hill in there as well, Sammy Watkins. And Chris Conley, potentially might upgrade on Chris Conley and Sammy Watkins in there. But Tyreek Hill definitely a mainstay. The same with Travis Kelce. One of the best, if not the best, tight end in the league at the moment. And their offensive line actually isn't too bad. As you see, Mitchell Schwartz here is 29 overall, so he might keep him this year, because this could be a playoff Super Bowl year anyway. So you might keep him this year and then maybe trade him next year and get some value from him that way. A few other positions on the offensive line, the left side we can upgrade, but the right hand side looks pretty good, and then also our centre looks pretty good as well. So offensively, the team is very good. Defensively, it's not as good, but it's still fairly decent. Both outside linebacker positions in D Ford and Justin Houston are fantastic. Justin Houston is 29, but I don't think he's actually going to regress that much, just because the areas in which he's really good. He's not like a speed guy. He's just very, very good at what he does, so he shouldn't regress too much. Kendall Fuller, also quite young, definitely our cornerback number 1. So, a lot of positions we do actually have in place people who are going to be there for the most of the rebuild. Chris Jones in there and Eric Berry at safety, but there are a few positions we could upgrade. Defensive line definitely does need a bit of changing. We haven't really got a good defensive tackle or left end in there who's one of the upper quality ones in the league. Eric Berry would probably move to free safety. I know he's a very good strong safety, but I think he'll be better as a free safety, and if we get someone else in at strong, might be better that way, because Ron Parker just simply isn't going to cut it for this team. He's pretty old. I think he's 30 or 31, and he's just not going to be that caliber of safety we need to, definitely secure Super Bowls. But we'll do a fair few trades with the team. Offensive line, definitely an area we need. Defensive line and the middle linebacker slots are definitely somewhere we need. So we'll probably focus on them when it comes to the trading. So first trade here, going to get rid of Irving, Murray, and a 3rd round for Trey Turner, and a 1st round next year from the Panthers. We're going to move him to left guard, but he's just a fantastic piece to add to the team. Next one, we're going to get rid of Ron Parker, Orlando Scandrick, and Williams for Landon Collins. We're going to play him at strong, play Eric Berry at free, and we're pretty much set there. So the next one, going to get rid of 2, Daniel Smith, 2 irrelevant guys, and Harris for Deshaun Hand and a 4th round next year from the Lions. Might move Hand inside the defensive tackle, but he can sort of play either one in a 3-4. Another one with the Lions, since they needed a left end, we're going to get rid of Bailey and a 6th for their 1st round pick this year. We're going to go with the Bengals now. Going to get rid of Jenkins and Frank Zombo, probably one of my favourite names in the NFL. And going to get Tyler Boyd in, very good number 2 or potentially number 3 for the team. And then with the Titans, for some reason they really, really want receivers in this game, so we're going to get rid of Chris Conley and Robinson for 2 firsts and a 6th off them. Probably the best trade we're going to get. And then one final sort of small trade here. We're going to get rid of Sorensen, a backup safety for Brown, who's going to be our number 3 corner. And I think that's going to be the team for us, guys. We're up to an 86 overall. Cornerbacks are looking very good. Anthony Brown, I'm probably going to play him as our slot corner. Linebackers, we didn't actually upgrade the middle linebacker because we couldn't get good value on one, but I think that's who we're going to draft. Return men, we're going to make Tyreek Hill return on both of those, and that's our specialist. So offensively and defensively, we're very good. Specialist wise, great rush defense there. Sub linebacker, we might change around to make it Landon Collins or a safety. But anyway, the team looks fantastic. I can see us going to the playoffs, but you never know. So we'll jump into the mid-season and see where we are. So at the mid-season mark, we are 3-5. That is surprising. I thought, we would be doing better than that considering our division. Somehow the Raiders are undefeated at 6-0-1. I mean, the sim is just ridiculous this year by the looks of it. It's the Chiefs, or us, in the second and Chargers in third. The team, hardly any experience points. So we might have just not been playing that well. It's quite a surprising one. We're going up against the 5-2-1 Browns next week. So that might potentially be another loss. So we might miss out on the playoffs by the look of it. But re-signings, we've got Landon Collins. We're obviously going to re-sign him. One of the better safeties in the league. We're going to lowball him just because he hasn't gone up on overall. And he'll take that one. We've also got D Ford and Mitch Morse. D Ford, we're going to keep. He's definitely one of the better outside linebackers. Not someone you actually hear the name of very often when it comes to talking about elite linebackers. Probably because Justin Houston takes a lot of that praise on the Chiefs. But he is a very good player. Mitch Morse, obviously going to re-sign. If you've got a lineman who's in the 80s, you pretty much have to re-sign them just because getting a lineman up in experience is just so hard when it comes to the sim. I mean, they barely ever go up in experience unless they're Pro Bowl and Superstar Dev. They're only going to get 1 point a year. So over the course of maybe a 10-year rebuild, he might go up to a 90. But for now, we'll definitely take that 81. Harrison Butker we're going to keep. Steve Nelson we're going to keep. So it's a lot of re-signings on this team. Seems like a lot of players coming towards the end of their contracts, which is going to be a difficult one just to keep us under the cap, because I think next year might be the year where Mahomes needs a contract and he's going to want a monster deal. I think it'll be him, Tyreek Hill and Kareem Hunt, I think, are the same class. I could be wrong on that actually, but I think they're all from roughly the same, if not the same class, just a year apart. So there's going to be a lot of money we're going to have to spend on those guys. But this is the guys this year. And re-signing wise, I think we're going to re-sign pretty much everyone of value. We have a lot of cap room actually, because we got rid of a lot of dead weight and a lot of those older, more expensive contracts. Anthony Sherman we're going to keep actually, because he's one of the few very good designated fullbacks in the league. Definitely going to keep him. He won't ask for a lot of money, so we'll definitely give him that. But let's jump to the end of the season and see if we can sort of improve on our 3-5 record. So going to the playoffs, are we going to make it? We're not, unfortunately. The Chargers end up making a comeback and winning the division 9-6-1. 9-6-1 for the Raiders as well, and we only go 7-9. So it's disappointing considering our team 86 overall. You would expect us to perform a lot better than that. Let's look at the stats and sort of see where the problems are. Maybe where we can do some changes coming into next year. Mahomes, that's a terrible year. 3,500 yards, 21 TDs, 10 interceptions, only 62% completion. Pretty terrible there. Kareem Hunt with a very good year. Spencer Ware with a decent year as a backup. But Kareem Hunt getting 5 yards a carry. That's pretty damn good. Tyreek Hill there, nearly 1,000 yards. Travis Kelce not having a good year at all. Not many touchdowns between them, but that could be because Mahomes wasn't performing that well. Mitch Schwartz, not very good either. Offensive line, wasn't that good. Overall, tackles-wise, Eric Berry did alright in there with a few sacks. Tackles for loss. A few guys in the... Actually, that's 6 guys in double figures. And Justin Houston coming in with 14 sacks leading the team. That's got to be one of the highest in the NFL. Definitely take that. I mean, he's a very good player. Eric Berry was 6 picks. That is phenomenal. And a lot of guys were 2 in there. So defensively, we must have been pretty good. It's just the offense that let the team down. Which, considering we're the Chiefs, is ridiculous. There's 2 defensive touchdowns as well. One from both of our safeties. So, yeah, offensively 22nd. Defensively 27th. Even with that many picks and sacks. That is unbelievable. That must have been the offense just giving them so much time on the field. They had no chance to sort of perform in games. So MVP, I can't imagine we're going to have very many awards. Eric Berry comes in second to Denzel Perryman. He seems to do very well in sim for some reason. Also, Justin Houston was in there. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I don't think we have anyone on the offensive or the defensive side. Darius Leonard does end up winning it with the Colts. But yeah, the team, not fantastic. I think we're just going to jump through. I don't think we'll get anyone in free agency. I can't imagine there'll be anyone in the class that sort of appeals to us. I mean, the only big player that potentially could be there is Le'Veon Bell, and we don't need him because we have Kareem Hunt. So we'll upgrade the guys. We'll probably sim through to the draft, and I'll show you what guys we pick up and sort of the areas we sort of go for in the draft. So in the draft, Harris Hartley was our number 1 pick. We got a right outside back. We might move him inside. He looks fairly decent. He's fairly fast for an outside backer, so he might be decent as a middle backer. He might go down to sort of 78, but that will still make him our number one middle linebacker, I think. So we'll definitely that's a good pick there. We also got a middle linebacker in Rivers, so those two guys might be our starting pair when it comes to that position. Overall, the draft, once again, no household names in this draft. Evan Melvin looked fairly decent, but I didn't want to trade up and get him. Connor Grove we didn't need, and there's a few sort of D linemen who are fairly good, but once again, they were an area where we could have moved hand inside and got a left end, but I don't think that's what needed. I think we really needed linebackers because the middle linebacker spot was just a bit of an area of weakness for us. But let's jump into next year and hopefully we can make the playoffs then. So year 2, this is what the team looks like. Offensively, it's fairly decent. Defensively, we could use a defensive tackle and another middle linebacker, but every other position is fairly good. I mean, Justin Houston actually went up to Superstar Dev, 5 Pro Bowls. I mean, that sort of just shows the quality of player that he is. He is a very good player. But yeah, there are a few areas where we could definitely look for improvements, mainly on defence. Offensively, we're pretty good. We can maybe use another right tackle, get rid of Mitchell Schwartz, and potentially get a better, potential younger left tackle in there. But overall, the team's looking fairly good. I'll do a few trades, not sure how many, maybe 1 or 2, but let's go into those. So we're going to get rid of Griggs, who we drafted, to the Patriots and get Shaq Mason for that one. Great trade for us. Going to go with the Redskins, going to get Jonathan Allen. Going to get rid of Reggie Ragland and a 4th round for him. Probably play him at defensive tackle. And this is what the team is going to look like after those 2 trades. I think we might potentially look for another trade. I'm sort of just fiddling around with the team a little bit. I don't know what value we can get with some of the players, but defensive line, definitely a great area for us. Now that we've got Deshaun Hand, Chris Jones and Jonathan Allen in there. Great, big, strong, sturdy defensive line. Good outside backers who can help on the blitz in and get into the quarterback. So I think middle linebacker will be an area of weakness. I might look to pick another one of them up. I'll sort of see what players we can get with what value we have. So we'll look to do one more trade for the team, but I'm pretty happy with where it's at. So the final trade, we're going to get William Jackson in for Fisher, Wild and a 6th round. And jump into the mid-season. We're 7-1. That is more like it. So we obviously have a few contracts to sign in there. We're top of the division, luckily, but the Chargers are hot on our heels, as are the Raiders, and the Broncos are just bottom dwellers in this division at the moment. But defensively and offensively, we have a few points in there. So the team's obviously performing decently. Mahomes hopefully doing a little bit better this year. Got a bit of XP to spend on the coach, so we'll do that just so we can get up a few of our players higher overall. And we're going to go for Kareem Hunt, I think, or Pat Mahomes, one of the two, just because they're guys that we definitely need. And DBs as well, just because those guys, we have quite a lot of young guys in there who can develop. So those are the guys we're going to go with. Hopefully over the second half of the year they can perform, get some awards and get that XP up. William Jackson, we do need to re-sign. That's probably why he was quite easy to trade for, but we're definitely going to re-sign him. Around $5 million a year, definitely worth it. If he takes that, that is a fantastic deal for us. And Tyreek Hill is up to 99 speed. Actually, he might start her at 99 speed. But anyway, we're going to sign him for the whole 7 years. The max contract we can offer. We're going to lower the cap hit just a little bit. Actually, quite a lot. We're going to lower it around $4 million a year. And he will take that. So getting him in, absolutely fantastic move. He's one of the best receivers you can possibly get. He's just he's rapid. And Chris Jones as well. Someone who's very good 3-4 defensive end, can play anywhere on the line, and we'll get him for around $5 million and he'll take that. Kendall Fuller, there's a lot of re-signings this year, so cap room is going to be a bit of a squeeze, especially, I mean, we're going to have to sort of plan for Mahomes' deal. I think it's next year, so we might look out and missing one of these guys, potentially. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work. We might tag one of them just so they're on a 1-year deal. That might have to be D Ford, considering he's 86 overall, which is very good. But he's down to quick dev. We'll see if he takes a low ball, and if not, we might tag him. But he does want a hell of a lot of money for being that old and that long a contract. Tyler Boyd we're going to re-sign just because he is absolutely fantastic in the slot. One of the better slot receivers you can definitely get in the game. Him, Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins together. Definitely the best receiver trio in the league. And Anthony Brown, I know he's only in the number 3, but he is fairly decent. We'll get him in on a nice cheap deal. Him, William Jackson and Kendall Fuller, we needed to re-sign all of them this year, and getting our 3 cornerbacks is definitely important for the team. So those are the guys we're going to re-sign. if none of the deals went through, I think one or two of the deals didn't go through. I'll sort of wait till the end of the year for those, I think. But we did sign them to new contracts before we upgraded them. I'm not sure if that makes a difference or not. If it gets you a little bit cheaper. But Kendall Fuller is up to an 89 overall after only a year and a half. So at the end of the year, he'll be in the 90s. He's got that nice star development, and he looks like a great player. He's sort of good at pretty much everything. And 66 catching isn't actually too low when it comes to cornerbacks. Kareem Hunt, we're going to upgrade. He's up to 95 with confidence. He looks also like a phenomenal player. I mean, it's probably going to be the last time we actually see him in Madden for a fair amount of time, considering what's happening with him. But he's, once again, good at everything. Very good power back. And Mahomes, I'm pretty sure he'll be up to 99 throw power by now. So we'll upgrade his field general a little bit just to make him a little bit more accurate. But the team is looking very good. Let's jump to the end of the season. As you can see, 99 throw power. Let's jump to the end of the season, and hopefully we make the playoffs. So going to the end of the year, I'm pretty sure we were 6-1 or 7-1 at the halfway point, and we do make playoffs, thankfully, at 13-3. The Chargers, 11-5, must feel a little bit annoyed that they didn't win the division with 11-5 record. Very good record. But Mahomes, coming up to his contract year, gets us first. The first in the NFL in the offense is ridiculous, and 7th in defense is phenomenal. 4,300 yards, 35 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Great year from Mahomes. Kareem Hunt with 1,500 yards and Spencer Ware with 500, and between them, 22 touchdowns. 3 fumbles from Spencer Ware on that many carries isn't good, but Kareem Hunt didn't fumble once. A lot of receiving yards. Sammy Watkins with 900, Tyreek Hill with 900. Travis Kelce is a bit underwhelming in this. I'm not sure if it's the scheme, but he's not got very many. Kareem Hunt also got 600 receiving yards, so over 2,000 yards from scrimmage for him. The line did pretty well. Mitchell Schwartz, we didn't end up trading, but I think next year is going to be... he's going to have to bow out next year. He's going to go down to sort of an 82, 83 overall. Maybe an 81, and that's just not going to be high enough. A lot of tackles for loss from a few of our guys. A lot of sacks as well, it looks like. Justin Houston coming in with double digits yet again with 13 leading the team. Deshaun Hand with 9, which is a great year from him, and 9 from D Ford, and 8.5 from Chris Jones, actually. So a lot of sacks for the team. Jonathan Allen also coming in from defensive tackle spot in a 3-4 with 6 is a great year. Kicking, absolutely terrible. Didn't mean to swap to that, but that is a terrible year. 10 made out of 16. A lot of picks there. Landon Collins and Kendall Fuller with 3. A few guys with 1. And I'm not sure who that Watts guy is, but he's got 2. He must be one of our backups. Forced fumbles, not very many. Only 3 in there. Deshaun Hand getting 1. So he had a good year. Definitely worth trading for him. It looks like we did get a defensive touchdown again. I think that was, William Jackson coming in with 1. So that is probably one of the better statistical years I've ever seen from a team that I've managed to build. Unfortunately, MVP Mahomes comes in 4th. I did think Kareem Hunt would be higher than 8th, considering he got over 2,000 scrimmage yards. Todd Gurley, once again, high up in the rankings. We did actually manage to get Coach of the Year, which is good, so that's a good bit of XP. That'll help us upgrade our players. AFC Offensive Player of the Year, we come in 3rd and 4th, quite frustrating. Justin Houston coming in 3rd. Darren Rivers and Landon Collins 6th and 7th, but getting a rookie in there. I mean, if he doesn't win Defensive Rookie of the Year, that's going to be absolutely ridiculous. But he does. Daron Rivers in there. I think he was our middle linebacker to start with, not the guy we converted to middle linebacker. But yeah, team phenomenal. Lots of awards. Sammy Watkins coming in 3rd in the receivers. Not sure how. I think we played him at the number 2 spot and not even in the slot. So he must have just done phenomenally. A lot of guys in our line coming in there. I mean, the first offense. If you're first in offense, your line has to be very well regarded throughout the league. Justin Houston not getting best linebacker, a bit disappointing. And D Ford coming in 9th. So I'm probably going to tag him if I can't get him to re-sign, because I tried to re-sign him a few times and he did want more money. So unfortunately we haven't managed to get him back for next year yet. Probably look to re-sign him though, just because he had a fantastic year, did D Ford. So definitely worth it. Offensively, a fair few upgrade points. Mahomes with 2 in there, so that should get his accuracy up. Oh, he's got Superstar Dev now as well. Fantastic. That should get him up to, being a pinpoint passer, but also fairly mobile, which is great. A few guys, I'm guessing, made the Pro Bowl from the offensive line. Unfortunately, Tyreek Hill didn't get any experience throughout the entire year, I don't think. But, I mean, he's already ridiculous, so I don't think he actually needs to upgrade much more. Sammy Watkins with an upgrade point in there as well, up to quick dev from his Pro Bowl appearance. I mean, the team is just performing fantastically. Tyler Boyd with one in there as well. Defensively, a fair few guys with some points in there. I'm not sure how our middle linebacker only got 2. He did win Defensive Rookie of the Year, Daron Rivers, but I think he only had normal or quick dev. So, yeah, he didn't even gain any experience upgrades. He's still on quick. He's not through to star dev. So that's a bit unfortunate, but he's still good. I mean, he got Defensive Rookie of the Year, so he's obviously fairly decent. But let's jump into the playoff games, see who we're up against, and hopefully this is the Super Bowl year for the Chiefs. So, our first game is against the Patriots. This could go either way. They were up to about an 85 overall, so they are fairly good, and they always tend to be fairly decent in sim. Luckily, we're up 9-3. I'm not sure how we got to 9 points. I think we got a touchdown and a safety, or maybe missed the extra point and got a field goal. I'm not exactly sure, but it's a very defensive, stalwart game, this one. It's 9-6 coming into the third quarter. Teams just can't get it going. Luckily, Mahomes has sort of turned it on in the second half, 16-6. We're going to come in just for a play, just to see how the team plays. I mean, we're up 10 points, so even if we just get the field goal, it's not the end of the world. It will still be 19-6. But I think I'm gonna loft one into the end zone for whoever's far left, Sammy Watkins. He hasn't got safety help over the top, so we'll just do a high pass. Hopefully, he comes down with it. Safety gives us the one-on-one, but unfortunately, Sammy Watkins doesn't get it there. We went for the aggressive catch. Unfortunately, it didn't work. But we are still up 16-6. I mean, worst case, they get a field goal, which they do. So it's 19-6. Harrison Butker actually makes the field goal for a change, it seems. And 22-6 is a very strange game, this one. 29-6. We didn't let a touchdown, scored against us the entire game from the New England Patriots. You're not going to get much better than that. And we're going through to the conference championship. So let's see where we end up. I mean, I'm not sure who will play. It could be the Steelers or someone like that, because they are very good in sim. Or the Chargers, maybe. But anyway, let's go to that game and see who we are against. So we ended up actually getting the Steelers as I thought we would. We got to a nice early lead there within literally a matter of seconds, and they turned the ball over, and we're up 10-0 within 5 minutes of the first quarter. And we have the ball back again, 17-0. It looks like this could potentially become a blowout. 17-7. They do pull it back with 14 points, and our offense just seems to stall a little bit there. Bit unfortunate, but we are still up 10 points in the second half. Third quarter, 31-14. I mean, this should be game over. We shouldn't be able to throw this one away now that we're up 22 points, 38-14, and we have the ball on offense as well. Looked like we did turn it over there with a pick or something, and the Steelers, they do have a chance at coming back, but our offense sort of, blows that chance out of the water, making it 45-30. It pretty much game over here, and it is. So we'll take the 15-point win. 45 points scored in a playoff game. Phenomenal. Mahomes with 6 touchdowns. That is a performance and a half. He completed 30 out of 45. That's fairly decent. Kareem Hunt with 120 yards as well. No touchdowns, but he obviously played his part in this game. Sammy Watkins with 2 touchdowns in the game. Nearly 100 yards on the day from 11 catches. A lot of guys sort of spreading the touchdowns around. One from Kelsey, Hill, and Kareem Hunt on receiving. Great game for the offense. Defensively, it looks like we did okay. I mean, we kept them out for a little while, but then they sort of came back in the game. D4 with a sack. Armani Watts with a sack as well, shared with Sean Hand in there. And 2 picks, one from Jackson and Berry. So let's go to the Super Bowl, I think. And we're through to the Super Bowl against the Eagles. So they seem to have a bit of a down year last year. Had the Super Bowl blues, Super Bowl hangover. But they are back in contention now against the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's a close game, 10-7. This could go either way, 13-7. It looks like defensively we're doing okay. We're sort of keeping them to field goals, which I'll definitely take, because there's a chance Mahomes can score a touchdown from anywhere with his 99 throw power and Tyreek Hill on the field. We're up by 1 point going into the fourth. A lot closer than I would have hoped. Looks like we're going to get at least a field goal there. We do get the touchdown, 24-16. I think I'm going to skip that moment. It's a red zone. I'll let them play that one out, I think. Hopefully they do get it. It's a field goal. I'm going to come in just to get this one. Actually, I don't think I'm going to go for the field goal. I'll make it a bit more interesting and not make it a two-score game there. I'll potentially make it a two-score game if we get the touchdown, but it's 4th and goal. Could go for the field goal to pretty much secure the win. They have no timeouts, but I'm going to make it just spice it up a little bit. Hopefully get the winning touchdown pass. Probably going to go to Travis Kelce here on the slant. He looks like he's open, but the comeback speed of the corner, I think that was... Actually, I'm not sure who that was. Might be Ronald Darby in there. Coming up with the comeback speed. Unfortunately, didn't allow us to get it. The Eagles do try and drive down the field, but they don't have time to get the touchdown. That is the game, and that is the Super Bowl to the Chiefs. So, within 2 years, we managed to get the Super Bowl. Should have really done it in one, considering the Chiefs do still have the potential to win the Super Bowl this year. With Kareem Hunt, the situation with Kareem Hunt at the moment, a bit disappointing for them, because that will really affect their Super Bowl chances. But, you know, it's his own fault for doing what he did. But he did do well for us in the sim. 6 yards per carry. Travis Kelce with a great game. Nelson Aguilar with a good game in there as well, actually. But Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce carried us in that one. Defensively, we got a sack from Deron Rivers at least. The only sack for our team. Any picks? 1 pick from Kendall Fuller, but very good. Let's go to the draft and hopefully win another Super Bowl next year. So our draft this year, another fairly good one. We got left tackle, a tight end to back up Kelce, because he is actually going down in overall a little bit. I think he's still in the 90s, but he's going down a little bit, so he could be a potential long-term replacement if we do another 2 or 3 years. Jack Ambrose, a very good quarterback to take at the end of the second. We're not going to use him instead of Mahomes, but he could be a good trade bait in there, or we could use him instead of Mahomes, depending on how expensive Mahomes' contract will be. Max Clapp, that is a hilarious name for the Cowboys to take there. But anyway, that's ridiculous that they took Clapp when they have Jason Garrett. But yeah, the draft overall, we got a fair few decent players in there, a lot of highly rated linemen and safeties. So positions we could have used, but our pick was the 32nd, so there wasn't anyone there available who was better. But let's go to the next season. So Mitch Schwartz, I said we were going to get rid of him. We needed an outside backer because D Ford didn't sign. We got Darius Leonard. Fantastic trade for us. And this is what the team's going to look like. It's phenomenal. I mean, Darius Leonard, we actually moved inside to middle backer because we did need a middle linebacker, not an outside backer, because one of the drafted guys we got can actually start there. The team does look even better than last year, and we won the Super Bowl last year, so I can see us potentially winning it again. So it could be another little dynasty we've made here. If we do win it, we might go for 3. If not, we'll probably end it at the 3-season mark, just because we've already won a Super Bowl, so the rebuild, in theory, is already complete. But this is the team for the 3rd year, 92 overall. Offensively, very good. Craig Gregory is okay. We're probably going to move him inside and move one of our guards outside, just because his scheme fits more as a guard than a left tackle. So yeah, we'll move this guy, Laurent Duvernay Tardif, to left tackle just because he fits the scheme there. Hopefully that'll make them play a little bit better. I think it's literally just as an XP change or XP overall upgrade, but you never know, it might make him perform a little better. So let's go to the mid-season. From here, I can imagine us being 6-1 or 7-1 again. Let's find out. So we're going to the mid-season. We're 6-1, as I thought we would be. The Bills are 1-6, so we should be 7-1 after this week. But players to negotiate, we do have Patrick Mahomes in there, and I can imagine he is going to want a ridiculous deal. I don't know what cap room we have to work with, if we can afford him. I'm sure there's a few other players in there who also want to get paid, so I think Jonathan Allen was the same class as him, if I remember correctly. So it could be quite an expensive one. Let's see who else we have. We have Patrick Mahomes, and how much does he want? He wants $207 million over 6. That is a big contract. We're going to lower that a little bit. We do have quite a little bit of cap room, actually. We'd have to sign Kareem Hunt and Travis Kelce in there, so that's going to go down quickly. We'll give him 210 over 7. And he does want more than that, so we will end up re-signing him. I'll sort of fiddle around with the contract a bit and see where we can go from there. Kareem Hunt down to a quick dev. We'll give him 7 years as well. just to lower the cap hit a little bit. Travis Kelce, I think, well, and I don't think, we are definitely going to try and re-sign him. He's still one of the best tight ends in the league at 92 overall. Phenomenal player. I mean, I don't think the chances of you getting him outside of the Chiefs are high, but if you can get him early on, it's definitely worthwhile getting him. Just because he is phenomenal at what he does. We probably will re-sign him. We'll see at the end of the year because we did draft that other tight end, but we probably will re-sign him. Jonathan Allen, we have to get. I absolutely love Jonathan Allen. I think he is a fantastic defensive lineman. I was so surprised he fell to the Redskins in the draft. I mean, I would have loved the Lions to pick him up, but didn't happen. He didn't fall that far. But Sammy Watkins we're also going to try and re-sign, even though we do have Tyler Boyd in the team as well. Seems like this is going to be a tight one when it comes to cap hit. So we might fiddle around with these contracts. We might end up not re-signing someone. I mean, Justin Houston for 3 years, $10 million a year, when he's probably going to go down a few overalls this year, even though he is still superstar dev. We'll offer him a lower deal. If he takes it, then he does. If not, then we'll see at the end of the year. I think this might be the final year we do. We might end up doing next year. So if we win the Super Bowl, I'll definitely re-sign the guys. If not, I might let some of them go. So going into the playoffs, I'd be surprised if we don't make the playoffs at a 6-1 start, and we do again. We did lose to the Dolphins, unfortunately, and we did just win the division at 12-4. The Chargers coming in 12-4 as well, and the Raiders and the Broncos back where they should be in 3rd and 4th place. Mahomes, considering we just paid him 200 and I think we ended up being 15 million over 7, that's not a great year. I mean, the touchdown to interception ratio, fantastic, but not many yards. But it seems like we have Nick Foles as backup, so that is the formula of winning a Super Bowl. Kareem Hunt, 1,600 yards, 12 touchdowns. Spencer Ware, that's a fairly decent year as well, to be fair, with 4 yards per carry and 9 touchdowns in there. Tyreek Hill with a great year. I'd expect him to have a few more touchdowns if he's going to have a great year, because I can imagine him getting a lot of... Actually, the longest reception he got was only 28 yards. But he got 1,000 yards, and a few other guys did decently. Offensive line, very, very good. One of our guys didn't give up any sacks. Mitch Morse giving up no sacks. And actually neither did our right guard who we just drafted. Darius Leonard, that's potentially Defensive Player of the Year. He got a lot of tackles for loss, a lot of sacks, a lot of tackles in general. 20 tackles for loss for Chris Jones. Justin Houston starting to peter off a little bit, considering he is very high in age. Harris Hartley there, 12 sacks. Jonathan Allen with 10, Darius Leonard with 7.5. Justin Houston still had 7, so he's sort of potentially getting to the ageless wonder status of Terrell Suggs. 6 picks there from Kendall Fuller, a lot of guys with 2, Landon Collins with 3. So the team performed ridiculously well. A fair few forced fumbles, any defensive touchdowns. Could be the first year we don't have any, and it looks like it is. But the team, very, very good. 12-4. I mean, that is a very respectable 12-4 as well. They seem to perform very well. Offensively, 5th, considering Mahomes only had 3,500 yards, that's great. And 1st defensively. It looked like it was going to be 1st defensively, considering how good they were. Todd Gurley with MVP. Kareem Hunt not even on the list. That is very surprising. Offensive Player of the Year, Kareem Hunt is on there, as is Pat Mahomes. Don't think he deserves it, but I think Kareem Hunt definitely did. Darius Leonard coming in 2nd to Myles Garrett, so we'll have to see how well he did. Kendall Fuller coming in 4th as well. I don't think any of our rookies will actually be on there. Willis Robinson, I think that is our backup tight end, and defensively no one on there. I mean, the only chance we had was our tight end, and he didn't really play, so that's fine with me. I didn't expect many awards this year, if any. I expect one, potentially MVP, and a few linemen in there, which is the staple. Defensive line, Myles Garrett got best D lineman of the year, so he must have had a lot of sacks. He must have at least got maybe 15 to 20 sacks to get that. Harris Hartley coming in the best linebacker, so he was definitely a good draft pick for us. And Kendall Fuller coming in as best DB. So I'm actually looking to see. Yeah, I'm going to have a quick look and see who the sack leader was. We'll see what Myles Garrett got, because I'm guessing he was the sack leader. He got 20 sacks. So, I mean, that Defensive Player of the Year, 20 sacks, that is fair enough. That is a phenomenal year. They seem to have a fairly decent team, the Browns, with Ogba and Day in there, both with 10 sacks. Let's see the overall NFL sack leaders. Khalil Mack with 16. Trent Murphy with 12.5 is very surprising, as is Akeem Hicks with 12.5. Kendall Fuller did lead, or he's one of the top four guys in interceptions. Forced fumbles, I can't imagine there'll be too many guys with that higher number. Jalen Smith first with 5. But let's jump into the playoff game. So we're against the Steelers. Hopefully we can beat them same as we did last year. I mean, we absolutely blew them out of the water last year, so hopefully we have their number. And we got to a nice 6-0 lead early on. Down 7-6 now though, into the second quarter. We get a nice field goal, but they drive down the field like it's nothing. Much closer than last year by the looks of it. We don't jump out to that early lead to get us a nice foundation to build off. But it looks like we might punch it back into... Oh no, we're not going to punch it into the end zone. We're going to go for a field goal, and we do end up missing it, which is unfortunate. Thankfully, they don't score on their possession. But they scored on the next one, getting a field goal. So it's 17-24 in the third quarter, moving into the fourth. They got the ball back, I'm guessing from a turnover. And I think we got a pick 6 or something there, it looked like, to get us to 31-17. 38-17. We've pulled ahead when it comes to the end. Pat Mahomes is looking to get his second Super Bowl within 2 years. Let's see who we're up against in the next game. So this game against the Browns, they have the sack leader on the year, Myles Garrett, and a very good defensive line. 3 guys with double-digit sacks. So getting a safety, not surprising. They're up 9-0. 12-0 now. It just looks like we can't score on them, and considering their defensive line, how well it played, that isn't too surprising. But I wouldn't expect our defense to give up as many points as 19 that early on. 22-7. I'm not sure what happened, that big chunk play there, but it's 22-14. We still have a chance. 25-14. I think that's potentially game unless we get a very quick touchdown here. Doesn't look like we will. Fourth quarter, 4th and 14. I'm probably going to jump in. I'm going to jump in here and hopefully get a one-play touchdown. I mean, there's a few plays you can actually use to get a one-play touchdown in here. We're going to go with PA crossers. It pretty much always works against the CPU, so I'm not going to try and abuse this too often. But I do want to get another Super Bowl win. So hopefully Tyreek Hill can use his speed to get open. That is circle, wide open with the rat catch, and no one is going to chase us down as we get into the end zone. So I'm giving us a chance. I don't know if I'm going to I don't know if I'm going to play another one, as I'll probably just let it sim out because I don't want to make it too much of an obvious fact that we're going to win. And it looks like the clock is whittling down. We'll try and get him a first down on 4th and 5, but I'm not going to go for a one-play touchdown in there. I'm just going to go over the middle and give them the chance to get the touchdown. If we don't win the Super Bowl, we don't win it, or don't get through to the Super Bowl even. We don't get through. But are we going to get over the middle? We're going to get open over the middle. Travis Kelce coming up big there. There's still 24 seconds. We'll call a timeout. We'll give them a chance. Hopefully they get it and they just run out the clock, which they need to change that in the sim. They need to update the sim so they don't do things like that. But that's going to be the game and the video. If you guys have enjoyed it, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys soon.